It is very, very early in the morning. So I am drinking coffee. I know this channel is called Wine and Whatevs, but girl, I have my limits. Like, come on, I can't be drinking time of morning, especially since I have to go to work later. So no, I don't want to be on those vibes. But like I said, I am drinking my Jamaican Blue Mountain coffee in my lovely Barack to the Future mug because February is Black History Month. Yes, Black History Month. For exactly 28, sometimes 29 days, people celebrate Black people. Yes. So, yeah, cheers to you. And let's get into it. So as it turns out, a bunch of y'all are freaks because you seem to love last week's video about life at the sex store. So I've decided to hit you with a part 2. Now, a lot of you wanted me to answer the leftover questions that were in this lovely borrowed fishbowl, despite what some of my friends may have said under last week's video. So I'm going to answer the ones that were left. So go grab a glass of your favorite libation. Hopefully for today, if you're watching this early in the morning, it is coffee because I do not want to be responsible for anybody having any issues. And this is Wine and Whatevs. It's so good, so good, so good. So before we start, 2 things. The first one is you might notice that this video is going to sound a little bit different. The reason being is I actually went and bought some lavalier mics from Amazon to help with the sound and, kick my videos up a notch. I'll probably be doing a review of them as I get to use them a little bit later to let you know how they work in case you're interested in purchasing. The next reason is I know in my previous videos there was a weird beeping noise that was happening. For the past year, beeping noise has been going on in my house. We couldn't figure out why. Turns out that when we replaced our fire alarms, we still had the bag of the old fire alarms in our basement, and 2 of them still had batteries in them. So those were always beeping. So you might think that's strange, but when I did call the fire alarm company when we were going crazy and like, why is this happening? Turns out that actually happens more often than you'd think, that people change their fire alarms and then forget to throw away the old ones and they're still beeping in their house. So that's what happened. So hopefully that will help and not be so annoying now that you don't have the beeping in the video. All right, so let's get into these questions. All right, let's see here. What's this one? How do you maintain composure when you get an outlandish question? Okay, so I don't know if I mentioned in the last video, but we do get a lot of training where I work. The reason why they give us all of that training is so that we are very proficient in what we do and we're able to help our customers. So whenever people do come in and ask outlandish questions, it makes it a lot easier for you to maintain the professionalism, because where I work, we're very big on professionalism. Sometimes people do ask us some really messed up questions, and you just kind of have to take a breath and answer the question. And then when they leave, we'll look at each other and be like, girl, that dude, my God. So that is how we maintain composure when we're asked outlandish questions. We just try to keep it professional, keep it to the task at hand, and help the customer and then get them out. All right, next question. Oh my gosh, it's actually snowing outside and it's really pretty. It's a really nice view. Okay. Strangest experience working in a sex store. So my strangest experience working in this store is when a gentleman came in. It was when I first started working. I was probably about a month in, so I was very, very green. And a gentleman came in, and this is to tell you, do not judge a book by its cover. He seemed like a really, just normal, or I shouldn't even use the word normal. He just seemed like your average guy. Came in, was really nice, walked up to me, and he's like, can you help me? And I said, okay, sure. He's like, I'm looking for something. It probably would be in the more bondage section. I'm like, okay, fine. So I walk him over to the bondage section, and he looked at me and he's like, you guys don't have what I'm looking for. I said, oh, what are you looking for? Maybe we can order it. Right? So then he goes, I'm looking for a cage. I was like, huh? And he's like, I'm looking for a cage, like a cage big enough to hold a person. I was like, okay. So this goes back to my question about how do you maintain composure. So it's like, okay, let me just speak to one of my coworkers. So I went to my coworker and I whispered, I was like, that guy's looking for a cage. And she's like, oh yeah, okay. So she basically went over and she said to him, you know, we don't have that here, but there are other places where you can get that. You can check Amazon, or there's various stores within the Toronto area that sells more of the I guess extreme, I don't know if that's the appropriate word to use, forms of bondage equipment. So you can go there and see if they can either have one custom made for you, yada yada yada. So I was just like, the guy was like, okay, thanks for your help. And then he continued looking around. He bought a few little bits and bobs, and then he left. So after he left, I looked at my coworker and I was like, does that happen often? And she's like, girl, somebody came in here looking for a body bag. And I was like, what? And she's like, yeah, I've been here when someone's come in here looking for a body bag. So after that experience, I was first of all, I understood that. I learned that everyone has their little thing that they like to do. And it might be different from yours, but there's no shame in it as long as they're consenting adults. But yeah, that was one of my weirdest experiences working at the store. I hope that answers your question. Next question. Let's see here. How do you react when you see people that you know? Whenever I see people behaving a little bit awkward at the fact that they know me and they're in that type of store, I usually will step away from them. So if I'm in one section of the store and they walk in that section, I'll go to the opposite section, just because clearly they're uncomfortable with knowing that I'm there, but they want to buy something, and I don't want them to miss out on that opportunity because they feel uncomfortable. So I'll tell one of my coworkers, hey, I know that guy, or I know that girl, can you just help them out? And then I'll just, stay at the back so that they don't see me and they can at least have their shopping experience. I have had people come in who recognized me and they behaved that way, and I did that for them. And then the second time that they came in, they actually came right up to me, and I was able to help them. And I always remind them that it's confidential. So yeah, I'm not gonna go and be like, hey mom, guess who came into my store today? No, I don't do that. It's a private experience. We completely understand that, and we have to remain confidential. I'm sure that there's, not since I've been working there, but I'm sure my coworkers have had celebrities come in or locally well-known people come in, and we just help them and get them out. We just want to make sure that they have a safe and confidential experience. So that is how I handle people who I do know. Yeah. Next question. The question is, most asked question from customers. And actually, the most asked question I get from customers is, what is it like working at a sex store? And my answer is always, it's a lot of fun. I get to work with a really good team of people. We laugh, we joke around, we hang out a lot outside of work. We learn a lot from each other, we help each other out, and it's a really friendly atmosphere. I find that working at this store has helped me a lot in my other jobs. So as I mentioned in my channel trailer, I actually have two jobs. I have a 9-to-5 at a nonprofit, and then I have this weekend job where I work at the store. And the skills that I've learned, every time I say that, I'm always like, oh my gosh. But what I have learned at the store has really helped me in my 9 to 5 job, because if you can have those difficult conversations with people where you're talking to them about erectile dysfunction, where you're talking to them about their body parts and what they like for stimulation, where you're talking to them about bondage, and you're keeping that professionalism and you're, you know, keeping that straight face, if you can have that conversation, then in my day job I can talk to anybody about anything. You know, I'm not, my 9 to 5 job, I do come in contact with a lot of you know, people who are high-ranking political officials or high-ranking people in the justice system, and it can be intimidating when you have to, you know, talk to a judge or talk to, you know, some politician. And having the skills to be able to talk to people about intimate issues and be able to, you know, maintain composure, it helps you be able to have conversations in my other job and maintain composure. Obviously, I'm not talking about body parts to people and in my 9 to 5 job, but still, it like I said, it can be intimidating when a judge is like standing in front of you talking to you and you're kind of like, ah. So it has helped me a lot. It's also helped me, you know, learn a lot about people and, you know, what makes them tick. And because of the information that I've gathered and gained, I get a lot of people who maybe, a lot of my friends, sorry, who maybe want to know things but have been afraid to ask. They'll come and ask me because I'm their friend and I can help them out. So I'm very thankful that I work there, and I'm very happy that I work there. And yeah, so that ends today's video. Thanks for watching, and I hope you guys have a great day, and I'll see you guys next week. Bye bye. It's Black History Month. Yeah, yeah, yeah.